That play was crazy too, just being on the court. I thought Trevor was going to have a wide open layup, and then Zay Freeney came out of nowhere, blocked it, and then luckily Drew was right there. I kind of started backpedaling on defense after I passed it to Will, and I just found myself kind of in the right slot, just by the logo, and started running my way towards the line. And Drew kind of saw me immediately and just tossed it to me, and that's a shot. Honestly, that shot was. I like to think I make that more times than not.
Welcome back to another episode, Not Even D2. I'm your host, KJ Allison. Here are my co-host, Naruto Perdomo. Fire episode, second of the week. Good shit, bro. But there's some games tonight. We're going to drop this tomorrow after we're done recording. So the results going to be live and fresh, bro. Who you rocking with? We got Bama and Duke, and then Texas Tech, and who they playing?
Florida.
Yeah, facts. Who you got?
I'm not picking against the grain here, but I'm gonna pick the two number one seeds, Duke and Florida. I feel like with Duke, Cooper Flag is, bro, he's legit. Like watching his game, like he just plays the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like he's aggressive when his team needs it, makes the right play. Like, bro, there was one play he the clock was winding down, and it looked like the possession was going nowhere. He did like a spin or something like that. He spun off his defender and it looked like he was about to float it, but he threw a lob to Malawach. Malawach grabbed it, but he missed it, bro. He missed the dunk.
I remember, yeah. Coop can pass, bro. People not even talk about that. He had like 6 dimes the last game, and they were like legit assists, not just like open reads. It was like, yo, he just made a fire play, and that's an underrated part of his game.
OD, and like his play out of post ups, like he always makes that like correct skip pass too. Like I see that from him a lot of the time. So he's just a great basketball player. And then for Texas Tech, Florida, like I'm not gonna lie, like Texas Tech was scaring me against Arkansas. You know what I mean? Texas Tech, like they were down most of that game, bro. You know what I mean? And I don't bet myself. Like I'm not into any of that stuff, but some of my boys back home and stuff like that was asking me what I thought, and I told them Texas Tech, and they almost sold my boys some money. Again, I don't bet. I do not bet. I don't like it. I like keeping my money, but it's just crazy. And then Florida is elite, bro. Like I think Walter Clayton's the best guard in the country at this point, bro. He's OD, and Iona guy too. He came from Patino at Iona.
That's so crazy.
So
I was talking about this the other day. I'm surprised that he didn't stay with Patino, like just following wherever he went. But
he's from Florida. I think that's kind of
yeah. But he went crazy at Iona, but now he's doing even better at Florida.
What are your picks?
My picks, I'm rocking with Bama all the way. I've been saying I think they're gonna win the Natty, but this Duke is the best overall team. I just think Nate Oates' offense is crazy, bro. Like so fast paced, and I think Mark Sears, he's neck and neck with Walter Clayton, bro. Like people that when they get hot, it's just like nothing you could really do. And Mark Sears actually real point guard too, so I think just him being able to play fast pace, and Coop is OD, and I've been saying this, but I think Grant Nelson is low key like a good matchup for him, bro. 2 white boys about to be going at it. It's gonna be a good game. Other game, I'm agreeing with you. I got Florida. I think Walter Clayton is just too OD, but Texas Tech, bro, they just like I know that you said they were scaring you against Arkansas. Coach Cal had Arkansas ready to go, bro. I don't hold that against them, but I just think Florida's too good. Like even guards off their bench are like, yo, they really like that, bro. So I think both are gonna be really good games. But yo, are you paying any attention to the girls' side or not?
Nah, honestly, I'm not.
Nah, I feel you.
I just know TCU made it. Like I was tapped in with Haley Van Lith because she's a buck, and I know they made it to.
They just got done playing. They won it. Haley Van Lith had like 25
Yeah, she's OD tough, bro. So
that's I need you to watch the Elite 8 so that we could chop it about that in one of these episodes, bro.
I got you, brother, man. That's my fault. I should have been. I know you big into that, so I should have been ready, bro.
No, you good. But let's talk about today's episode, bro. We got Henry Vetter, really a basket, bro. I'm looking at his stats, and he's had 2 back-to-back really, really good years. Like, was he first team all-conference last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's back-to-back first teams. And he was point guard, Trinity basketball. They just won their first national championship. really good game against NYU, which we're going to talk about. But we, at first, if you've been listening, we wanted to just get Henry in like the last slot of the last segment of the show where we just interview a player that had a good week for like 5 to 10 minutes. But you called it. I was like, bro, there's too much to talk about with Henry. And it's true. So we made this into a full episode, bro. Really good conversation, mostly about like this tournament run for them. But I want to hear your thoughts just talking to bro, getting them on the episode.
Yeah, definitely solid dude. You know, I mean, obviously we played against them last year. They, beat us pretty good, but Henry was, I thought he was leading them, bro. I mean, like I said in the episode, like he was hitting tough shots. Like I remember one shot, like it was like a pound dribble in the midi, and like it was like a fading one leg shot. And he shot it over Griff, who's a great defender, banked it in or something like that. And I was just like, I mean, he's good. And obviously he got the strap. He could shoot it. And, Trinity is just a great team overall, bro. So I wanted to hear just the insight of the team, their team dynamics, how they became what they are. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting, like the NESCAC, bro. I was actually talking about this with Coach App. Like a team like Hamilton goes 4-6 in conference or something like that, 4-9, whatever it was, 4-9 in conference, and is bottom of the conference last year. But this year they're a top 4 seed in the NESCAC. You know what I mean? And like they made it to the tournament on a bid.
And
so
like Williams last year, they was OD, and then no shade against them, but they finished like towards the bottom this year.
Yeah, so like that's just how it is in NESCAC, and like even like Wesleyan, like they had a solid year the year prior to this year, but they blow it out the water, going like 30-2 or something like that. They're like, so they were winning the mad games, and it's just like, NESCAC is a great league, bro, and it shows how much it can fluctuate. But definitely a great conversation with Henry. I'm excited for the viewers to get to know bro and just hear that conversation.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wesleyan was whatever you just said, 30-2, I think, and their only 2 losses were to Trinity, bro. That's really tough. And we talked about that game in the Final Four because, like, bro, I don't like NESCAC championship is a big deal, but when it's in the Final Four, I feel like the magnitude of that game is just way more important, bro. Like, this is really like what your legacy depends on. Like, if you win that game in the playoffs compared to like NESCAC, I feel like it just adds way more to your resume. But I just wanted to make one point about like Trinity, bro, and Henry like really exemplified the importance of this, of having like a complete program, not just like the basketball program, but the athletic communications department. We was talking about this off air, but like their social media team, it like I'm not gonna say it like makes them play better, but it definitely like he was saying it makes us feel good. Like we got someone at our games all the time, like putting out content of us. It's their athletic training department, their strength and conditioning. Like I feel like some Division III programs, they just worried about like, let's get the best coach or something like that. They're not worried about the whole program, but Trinity is a great example, and it's like leading to consistent success. I know they didn't win it all last year, but Final Four appearance, that's tough.
Bro, and like the athletic department in general is just like top of the top. Like I'm pretty sure they were in the contention for the Directors Cup last year, which is like all the D3 schools combined, like their athletics and stuff like that. Like women's hockey was elite. I think like field hockey is elite over there too. So it's just the whole AD department as a whole. But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's a good shout. And last thing, like last year I'm looking at it, Henry in the Final Four against Trine, he was 1 for 11, bro. I feel like he was talking about like just getting used to, being in that atmosphere in the playoffs. Like he didn't have his best, like against Calvin last year is 2 for 16, and then against Trine 1 for 11, bro. So he didn't have his best stuff last year, but it was just like another year of like work being under Coach Cosgrove, and that really like he was a killer in the second half, made the biggest shot, which we talk about all of that. I don't want to make this intro too long, bro. Really good episode with Henry. Make sure you subscribe. Go follow us at Not Even D2 on all socials. Just made a TikTok page. Got to get it over there and go follow that. But let's hear from Henry Vedder.
All right, we are here with NESCAC Trinity guard Henry Vedder. How you feeling today, bro?
Good, good guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to be here.
Of course,
Yes.
we got to add a national championship to that too. My fault, bro.
Yeah.
How have the last couple of days been, bro? Talk to us.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Definitely a lot of good buzz on campus. I mean, that was our first national championship for the basketball program. Obviously, celebrating a lot with my guys, with our teammates and coaches has been great. Just knowing all the hard work we put in, is special to share with those guys. But also, we got a lot of supporters, a lot of people who were watching us, from home or whatever over the weekend, and tons of stuff. I got professors and stuff who know what's up. So that's cool, just for them to be in the loop. And I think, yeah, I mean it's nice too because it's spring, so the weather's starting to get nice, and there's good vibes on campus all around.
Word. Yo, I was wondering what was that night like? You don't got to go too specific, but you guys had a good time after the game?
Yeah. Well, we were in Fort Wayne, so we weren't on our home turf. But all the parents and stuff were there, and we had a good time in the hotel lobby, and a few of us went out to dinner and whatnot. Like I said, good vibes all around. Everyone's super excited. Everyone's just in a good mood, and we had a ton of family there. Pretty much most of the guys on the team had some family members there, and coach had some former players of his there, some former teammates. So there was a big crew, and yeah, the hotel was nice. Did a good job celebrating there, and just taking it in. And then when we got back to Hartford on Sunday, that was obviously a pretty special day. I mean, a lot of the campus was excited, and it was a nice day out. So yeah, it was definitely a good welcome back.
That's awesome, bro. Enjoy these moments, my guy. I mean, they kind of fly by, bro. As I'm sure you're kind of realizing with these days kind of going so fast. But you're talking about Trinity, just the program in general. It's always been a really good program in the NESCAC. I mean, we talked to Coach Joe Riley. He coaches at Wesleyan, and he went to Trinity, and he was a great player at Trinity, bro. But like one thing, like outside looking in, right? You guys were 16-9 your freshman year, and you had a good freshman year yourself. I'm pretty sure you were NESCAC Rookie of the Year your freshman year. But the following season, you guys go 30-3, and you guys go to the Final Four. And from the outside looking in, bro, that's a crazy jump. So I'm just wondering, if you can give the viewers and us an insight into the process, what went into that crazy season, the work, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, my freshman year, we honestly had a really talented team. I mean, we started the year off, we were 10-0 to start the year. And kind of conference play was kind of our downfall. We kind of lost some tight ones in conference, but we played a lot of good games. Honestly, we lost to Middlebury, who was one of the better teams in the nation that year, in overtime at home. Lost to Wesleyan at home. All close games. Those were like one possession games. So we were good my freshman year. We were talented. I mean, our record might not have showed it. But we were kind of just below breaking that cusp, of getting to be a really solid winning team. And then, yeah, my sophomore year last year, yeah, I mean, we just had we have a really talented team, a lot of good players. And I think what happened my freshman year was, we had guys that, I think everyone was a little confused on what their roles were and, how they were going to fit into those roles. And I don't think our sole objective was always winning. And, that was the whole team, myself included. I think everyone was just a little all over the place. And I think last year we really, made a pact to, make sure that everyone's on the same page, that we're going to win games and do whatever it takes. And we had so many guys bought in from top to bottom. Last year, my sophomore year, I mean, we went 10 deep, same thing as this year. So we got a lot of dudes who make plays for us on both ends of the floor. And then same thing this year. We had, again, a really talented roster, a lot of great players. I mean, we got players all throughout who've been on the bench who haven't played a lot of minutes that would be killing at other schools. But they still come to practice every day and they bring it and they make everyone else around them better. And they're, we got some gym rats on the team too. Like I said, some guys who might not play as much as they should or they want to, but stay bought into winning games. And it's hard. Some days it's hard to come every day to practice and bring it when you're not playing. But we got dudes who do that day in day in or day in day out, and that stuff makes a huge difference. I mean, I can't say enough about everyone on our team from top to bottom.
For sure, dude. I mean, you're talking about hard work, and also you're talking about this 5 in 5 out. I remember last year, obviously, we played Trinity first round, and we were only playing I think 6 or 7 guys at the time. But then you see Trinity, KJ, they have a 5, their next 5, their bench could probably start on a team in the EA or anywhere, probably.
Totally.
Honestly. So you guys, it's crazy. I mean, and I hear about the work you guys do in the weight room. Like Trev tells me about it. I remember coming out of shoot around before the Trinity game, and Will Dorian, I think, was going into the gym, and like he was about to go get a lift in, I think, probably.
Yeah, that dude's psycho.
So it's just like that's what contributes, bro, to the overall, success of the program. And I'm wondering, like you said, you guys 60 wins in 2 years, but you guys lost in the Final Four last year, which it was obviously a great year, but you guys won the Natty this year. So what do you think kind of separated, those two teams?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I think part of it was just, having that experience. I mean, it makes a big difference when you get to play. I mean, for all of us, that was last year losing to Trine. That was easily the biggest game we've played in.
Yeah.
And, I think for myself included, a lot of us just weren't, I wouldn't say weren't ready for it, but, it kind of, we got punched in the mouth and it stunk. But, I think thinking, using that as motivation in the off season. I know I didn't play my best game. I know we didn't play our best game as a team. But kind of keeping that, having that chip on your shoulder, knowing that, yeah, we were great, but when it came down to it, that's kind of how our season ended. And just keeping that in the back of my mind. I mean, I know I had one coach who kept, he'd always clown on me for the trying game and workouts whenever I started hitting, just to keep me grounded a little bit. And it's true. I mean, I think you think back to moments like that, and it really does. You remind you of a time when things might not have gone the way you wanted, and you work to change that outcome if you get that opportunity. And again, very thankful that our squad stayed super together this year to have that chance. And I think getting back this year, just having that game under your belt, not having to worry about the whole Final Four experience. You get all this new gear, and like last year, that was our first time like flying as a team, even. So I think just like stuff like that. Those are big experiences too. I don't want to discredit those. Like those are some equal to playing on the court. You guys know those are some of the better memories you'll have, just traveling and being around, being on the bus even. And so you don't want to overlook that. But I think knowing where we were last year and getting back this year, just looking at it as a straight up business trip to go and get some stuff done. And that's what we did. And I think again, it's just everyone staying grounded. And look, we're not the same team as last year. We lost three great seniors who were all great players, but even better, leaders and people for our program. But having that opportunity and having that experience too, we had Dorian's guy who's been around me, Drew played 3 years, Tristan sophomore. So and even off our bench, we had a lot of guys who have been around. And having that experience I think it's a big advantage. Obviously, I mean, it's just human nature. I mean, you get to play in the same place twice, you're going to be better off, I think.
Yeah, I feel that, bro. Congrats to y'all. I mean, I know exactly how you feel. Like first time getting that new gear, flying, and your eyes all wide. You're like, damn, I'm feeling like an NBA player right now. But round two is like now it's strictly just I'm trying to get that hardware, and you guys were calm the whole game. Like it wasn't an easy game, but
yeah,
we're gonna talk about this. But you hit the biggest shot because you were just used to that moment. So I definitely understand what you're talking about. But I want to talk about this season a little bit because I mean, you guys not an up and down season, 30 wins, but I remember like to start the year there was a lot of buzz behind Trinity, and then there was a stretch where you guys lost to Babson, you lost to Williams, and you lost to Wesleyan. And I remember seeing on like Twitter or hearing people say like, Trinity's kind of falling off. We don't know how far they can go. So I was just curious, like, what was that stretch like, and how'd you guys kind of rally behind that? Because after that, I think you guys won 15 straight.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, that stretch was honestly pretty crucial to our success too. You never want to lose games, but undefeated is a really hard thing to do. Any level, no matter how many games you're playing. I mean, it's just hard. It's just those wins start adding up, and that zero, it looks cool in the record, but every game you're getting everyone's best shot, and it's just hard. You don't see many teams going undefeated. So, and I'm not going to say we were happy we lost, but I definitely think it was a good thing for us looking back on it. The Babson game really was just a crazy game. That's probably one of the most hectic games we played in this year. I mean, they put up like almost 100 points on us, which never happens. But that was a double OT game at their place. Crazy crowd, all sorts of Trinity and Babson people there, honestly. And we lost. I mean, they beat us, but it was a good game. It was back and forth. I think Williams was the same thing. I mean, we shot horribly. I think we were like 4 for like 32 from 3 against
Yeah,
Williams.
what you guys score like 50 that game?
Yeah, 51 points, and we still had a chance to win the game, which I thought
That's
was honestly
crazy.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then the Wesleyan game, same thing. I know I didn't play my best that game, and Wesleyan kind of took it to us, and that was in our gym. But I think all 3 of those losses, we learned a little bit about ourselves. I think the Babson game was, we got to get stops. I mean, you're not going to win a game giving up 98 points. Just not going to happen. Williams game, like I said, that kind of showed us that, like, look, we gotta rely on our defense. Obviously, you need to hit shots, but you hold teams to 56 points, you're going to win most times. And a couple plays here and there, we win that game. But I think that reminded us that, look, even if shots aren't falling, we still have a chance to win games if we really just clamp down and rebound the ball. And then, like I said, that Wesleyan game, I think that kind of just lit a fire under us. I mean, one, just like the rivalry versus Wesleyan, but two, like I said, they kind of took it at us in our gym, and I think we knew we had to get them back for that. And we wanted to play as tough as we could for the rest of the season. That was kind of our MO. I think we were just a tough, gritty team that got stops on defense and shared the ball on offense, and that's kind of what prevailed for the rest of the season. But yeah, I think those 3 losses all kind of taught us different things, but I think we learned from them and then use that as a motivation going forward. I remember that practice after we played 2 days after that Wesleyan game against Bridgewater State. We won by like 26. But that practice after I think it was Saturday game, practice Sunday, game Monday. That Sunday practice was one of our like most physical, intense practices of the year. And I think that kind of goes to, the way our coach gets us going. Coach Cosgrove, great, phenomenal coach. But, I think, a lot of teams might, take it a little light that day, playing after a game, day before a game, whatever. But we really get after it all the time. And I think that kind of set from that practice I think it started with that practice. I think our winning streak started with that practice, really, where we got after it. We got after it. That's about all I'll say, but we got after it, and that definitely fueled some fire for all of us going forward. And I think that was a message that looked like, if we lose, we're going to lose, but we're going to be the tougher team every time. And I think that prevailed in a lot of our games going forward.
Right. It's definitely cliche, but like the saying is, like, if you learn from your losses, then like they're not really losses, and that kind of what you're talking about. But I know a few people that know Coach Cosgrove, like coaches, and they all tell me like there's a little bit of an edge to that guy. So I could definitely see that. And you see it on the court too with you guys.
Yeah.
Like you guys are all over the glass. You guys play hard as hell. So I mean, it might be like traditional way of coaching, like yelling at guys or something like that, but it definitely paying off for you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's a great coach. He's a winner, and what he's done for our program in general since he's been here has really elevated Trinity into the national spotlight, and gotten us to be able to compete in games like that. I think I mean, you watch his demeanor. I mean, he's someone who's really just so caught up in competing. He never sits during games, which a lot of people like probably don't notice, but like he really is just so caught up in the game that he doesn't even have time to sit. And then I mean, I think even after, I mean, this is crazy. After we won the Final Four game against Elite Eight game against Catholic to go to the Final Four, I mean, he didn't even cut down the nets. Like, he didn't even want to cut. He said these aren't the nets we want. And you're not going to find many coaches, any level, that'll win a sectional championship and not cut down the nets. But he stood on business, and he said we wanted those nets in Fort Wayne, and we went and got them. So I think that's just a nice, testament to kind of the type of coach he is, but also the type of person he is. He's just as tough as they come, and he's probably as relentless a worker as any of our guys. I mean, he sits in his office watching film all day. I mean, all day, and he goes out recruiting. He's doing everything, and so he's kind of obviously the head of the program, but he gets us fired up to play day in, day out, and obviously he's a great coach.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Cosgrove. But you mentioned like going to Fort Wayne. You talked about it was a business trip, but I kind of want to talk a little bit more about it because you guys were going. The Final Four was 2 NESCAC and 2 UAAs, and that's a heavy debate in itself. But you guys were matched up against the NESCAC team, so a lot of familiarity with you and Wesleyan. You talked about the rivalry. You guys beat them in the NESCAC championship, if I'm not mistaken, but they beat you guys in the regular season. So it's like a lot of tension going into that game. So I'm kind of curious, like, what your mindset was going into the Final Four, especially knowing like we're about to see Wesleyan for the third time.
Beat them
Yeah,
at Wesleyan too for the chip.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we knew that. I mean, we just beat them in their gym like 3 weeks before for the conference title. So we knew they're coming after us. I mean, there's no doubt about. I mean, let alone it being a Final Four game. I mean, they're trying to get it back for sure. And they're a really good team. I mean, they're well coached. Obviously, Joe Riley, like you said, went to Trinity. But they got a lot of good players. And they're a good team. I mean, they beat us. Earlier in the season. But, I think our mindset was, it honestly was kind of nice playing a familiar opponent, just because a lot of time you see in the tourney, teams get matched up with teams that just play different play styles that you're not really used to. And that's kind of where the upsets and stuff happen. I know like Redlands this year, they beat Tough, but, they get up and down probably as good as any team in the country. And, you don't play teams like that. I was thinking a team like Grinnell. Grinnell's kind of a scary first round matchup because
I was thinking that
you're not playing any other team like that in the country. And they make you play their game. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think we kind of knew what we were getting into. We knew, look, this is a good team that's gonna come after us, and we got to make it a war. That's kind of what we did. I think winning that NESCAC chip kind of gave us some things logistically and schematically, that we saw on film that, I thought, what we needed to do to win. As good as they are, I don't think they're a great 3-point shooting team. So we kind of tried to, just make sure we keep them in front and make them take tough shots over us. And, that's, Coach Cosgrove does as good as anyone of game planning and, I think not overcomplicating things, but, making sure it's something where all the players understand it. Players, in practice, in scout, are going through those things and, really paying attention to detail like that. And I think playing Wesleyan again was something that, we look forward to, honestly. I thought it was pretty cool that, we got to, a little cool. Some of us were like, really like, come on, like we got to go to Indiana to play these guys. And it was the same thing last year. We played Tufts 3 times last year too. And it's like, dude, like, we wanted to play some. I'm glad we got to play NYU, but like, we want those opportunities to play UAA teams too and stuff and play different just teams that we don't play. But it's not our choice for the matchup. So, we're going to go out there and play regardless of who it is. Yeah. And we look forward to that game definitely. And I think, winning that game was huge just from like a confidence perspective for the team, just getting over that hump. Because I think had we lost, losing in that same game 2 years in a row is brutal. And so just getting that win, that and I think that allowed us to play free and easy in the NYU game and, really just go out there and compete.
Word. I want to talk about the NYU game now, bro. And the game was wild, like back and forth. Clearly, 2 of the top 2 teams in the country, and it was showing. But you were scoreless in the first half, and in the second half, you finished with how much? 15?
Something like 14, maybe something like that. Yeah.
So you definitely bounced back. But I'm kind of curious about one specific play. It was one of the last possessions, and I stood up, I think, 3 times during the possession. So one of your teammates shot, airballed. I stood up for that, and then you guys got the offensive rebound. I thought he had an easy putback. It got blocked. Yeah. So the ball came out to you. I want to hear about the 3, like when you were receiving the ball. I want to hear when you released it. Did you think it was going in? Just talk to me about like that whole play in general.
Yeah, that play was crazy too, just being on the court. I thought Trevor was going to have a wide open layup, and then Zay Freeney came out of nowhere, blocked it, and then luckily Drew was right there. And, I kind of started backpedaling on defense after I passed it to Will, and I just found myself kind of in the right slot, just by the logo, and started, running my way towards the line. And yeah, I mean, Drew kind of saw me immediately and just tossed it to me. And I mean, that's a shot. I mean, honestly, that shot was, I mean, I like to think I make that more times than not. I mean, that's just an inside out step in three. And honestly, a great look. And I'm thankful my teammates trusted me as much as they did throughout the game, to make plays. And, Drew obviously found me. But, really the whole game, my teammates kind of kept me in it confidence wise. I always believe in myself, but man, so many guys just kept telling me to keep firing, keep shooting. And kept swinging me the rock too. I mean, it's one thing for dudes to say it; it's another thing for dudes to keep passing me the ball. And you even see in the video, I mean, Drew passed me the ball and he started running back like it was already in the bucket. So I think that just speaks to like the type of bond that we have with our team, trusting one another and making plays for each other. I mean, I don't get that shot if Trevor isn't there for that offensive rebound, if Drew isn't there for that rebound, if Drew doesn't swing the rock. And that shot was great. I'm glad I hit it. But really, the whole game. I mean, our team just played a great game. I mean, like you said, two of the best teams in the country, and we went at it. And we made it a rock fight, and it was a great basketball game, back and forth the whole way. And like I said, our team was able to prevail.
Dude, I mean, I feel like throughout the tournament, watching your games, like, it's just different guys like kind of stepping up for those big moments, bro. Like that kid, Drew, his name Drew, right?
Yeah,
like
Drew
the the NESCAC chip, he was
the
bugging.
free,
He was bugging like that. Like Jarrell was locking up shit.
Well, and really, that's kind of been our MO all year. Is it's always been about our team. It's never been about one guy. I mean, like I said, I mean, I hit that shot. But I really I didn't shoot it great. I thought I did some things on both ends to kind of keep myself going. I didn't shoot it great, but like again, I mean, I'm not there without my teammates instilling that confidence in me. And my teammates around me playing. I mean, Jarrell was a monster in that game. I mean, talk about tough finishes. He was making seem like damn near everything that he could get up on the rim. And yeah, he's a monster. I mean, he definitely deserves MVP for that game. I mean, what he was doing on offense. I mean, 9 for 13 from the field is just, and on tough shots too. I mean, that's just special. But really, our whole team. I mean, I think everyone. The unselfishness of guys like Drew and Will. We got a lot of guys who like you said, would be starting or playing, taking XYZ many shots, doing this, that at other schools. But we got guys who, are committed to winning and, will give up and sacrifice a lot for that. And, I think it paid off in the end. I mean, I think for everyone, being a part of a team and, winning is better than any individual accolade you can achieve. And I know for me, winning a national championship is better than any individual honor I'll get for probably as long as I live.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a forever stamp, bro, in D3 for real. So definitely should be proud of that, my guy. I know you're talking a lot about like, your teammates trusting you and putting confidence in yourself, bro. But I want to talk about you for a sec, my boy. And we're gonna end it with this last question. So, like, I know some guys. So I know Trev. I know Ethan McEachern. Like, he was there at Trinity for a year. I think. Were you there the year he was there?
I came the year after.
The year after. All right. So, but. They tell me, bro, that like you're one of the hardest workers, like you're always getting up shots, you're doing skill work, and like, playing against you last year, like that's a lot of your bag. I mean, you're hitting tough shots. Obviously, like you said, you're hitting threes, but you could tell like you put in the work, for this opportunity, bro. So I just want to hear like what has been your motivation to work so hard? Like I want to know that side of Henry Vetter, bro.
Yeah, well, I think one is just the confidence aspect. I think the only way to be confident in yourself is to, put in the work. And, I mean, part of the reason guys are telling me to shoot it is because they know I can shoot it, but they also know I've put in a lot of hours, to perfect my craft, and, or at least try to. But I think, just, trying to be the best possible player that I can be. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, I've done everything every single day that I possibly could have. But, I think for the most part, I've put myself in a position where I'm going to do what I need to do in order to be the best possible player I can be, in order to be the most confident I can be in myself. And like you said, a lot of that's just staying after practice, shooting, but it's a lot of the other stuff. I mean, I think one thing that was big for me this year was just staying healthy and keeping my body intact. I put a lot of hours in the ice bath this year. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I loved it every time. I mean, I hated it. Some of those winter days, getting in the ice bath when it's cold downstairs already is brutal. But I did it because I knew it was going to help my body and it was going to help my legs feel better on game day and stuff. So I think just little things like that, obviously you want to put in the work on the court, but just keeping yourself, you gotta, they say availability is the best ability. You got to be able to play, and you also want to feel good while you're playing. And then, that comes down to like our strength coach is so good. Bill DeLong is such a good dude. But he does a lot of stuff with us. Honestly, in his like spare time, not even, in our scheduled team lifts and whatnot. I mean, he came to Indiana and he's given dudes like pregame exercises. He's running dudes through pregame workouts to make sure our bodies are, we got good blood flow in our bodies. And then he's there after the game running recovery lifts and stuff like that. And same with we got a great trainer, Mike Groves, who, I mean, really, that's what I'm talking about though, is like our whole program from the top down is everyone's just bought in, committed to doing what we can to win. And that, I know for me, that's what I mean, like I said, I want to hit shots so that we can win. And so that's why I go in the gym and I stay after practice and I shoot, because that's the only way I know how to. And that's, it really is. There's no easy other way to put it. You just got to put in the work to get there. Like I said, I mean, that shot I hit that Drew swung to me, I mean, I've hit that shot hundreds, thousands of times. Literally before every game, I make 2 in a row from the logo. And, I think it was pretty cool for me to hit that because I think a lot of people know that that's a shot that I take pretty often. And again, that's why my guys trusted me. And I can't say enough about everyone on the team. Really just, giving me confidence throughout that game to keep firing. And I think the reason I had confidence in myself to keep firing is because I know I've been there before, but I've also put in a lot of time on my own to try and be the best jump shooter I can.
Yeah, bro. Respect to you. The work definitely gonna always show. Big time shot, but like you said, you practiced that. That was nothing for you. But congrats on the natty, bro. Keep living it up and rooting for the best for you moving forward, bro.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on for sure.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Not Even D2.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter. That's the best way to support the channel.
And all episodes released on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. That's going to do it. And we'll see you next week on Thursday.
Yo, bro, that was a fire episode.
OD.